Today, I'm going to show you how to cleanse your liver within 3 days. I've done every single cleanse that has ever been invented. And I'm going to tell you many cleanses that I've done. I've gotten sick. I start the cleanse and then I'm in bed for 2 weeks. This particular liver cleanse that I'm going to talk about is very different than my usual cleanses that I talk about in a lot of other videos, where I'm talking about drinking apple cider vinegar, lemon drinks, ginger, but they're not going to even produce close in results of what I'm going to show you today. The question is, how does your liver actually clean the body? What are the things that are the most powerful so we can speed this process up? We have the detoxification of the poisons and chemicals, whether it's medication, the chemicals in your food, alcohol, etc. And then you have also the cleaning of all the dead cells, the waste, the pathogens that are in your body. If you've ever taken biology, this is a cell, and inside the cell, you have these different things. And this little thing right here is the garbage disposal of the cell. That's called a lysosome, okay? A lysosome is the little incinerator, the garbage disposal that burns up the waste and cleans up the dead cell, and it actually helps recycle dead cells and pathogens like microbes and viruses and bacteria and fungus, and turns all that into new cells. So that whole process is called autophagy. So the body is actually eating some of its own tissue, and it's recycling this waste into new cells. So let's go through the 7 things that trigger autophagy, starting with maybe the weakest trigger to autophagy, and that would be certain phytonutrients. Has a mild effect of triggering this autophagy, this recycling effect. Then number 6, we get the ketogenic diet, cutting down your carbohydrates. Then number 5, we get into exercise, okay? Exercise will trigger autophagy. Then we get into sleep. Okay, when you sleep, you go through this process. Then we get into calorie restriction, okay? When you cut down your calories, that also helps this process to occur. And then number 2, we have water fasting. And water fasting is basically you're not eating anything except you're drinking water. But there's one additional thing that is 3 times more powerful than water fasting. And that is, are you sitting down? Dry fasting. No food and no water. Dry fasting, hands down, is probably one of the most powerful things you can do to stimulate autophagy and truly cleanse the cells. And I'm not talking about doing dry fasting for 12 days, okay? That's for a different video. I'm talking about doing dry fasting for only a day. So in other words, you start dry fasting, sunrise, and then you stop at sunset. And at first, I didn't think there was anything to this, but the more I got into it, I'm like, wow, this is incredible, because 1 day of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 days of water fasting. You've probably been told that you can only survive 3 days without water. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but that's a complete myth. That's absolutely not true. And that's just because when you stop drinking water, what happens is your fat cells, as they're burned, start releasing a lot of water. But my whole point on this is we're only talking about 12 hours of not drinking water, okay? So you're going to be fine. You're going to greatly enhance your immune system. Another benefit is your kidneys and your liver finally have a chance to rest. Sometimes we have this idea that we have to drink all this water to flush the toxins out, right? Guess what you're doing all day long when you're drinking a lot of water? You're peeing, okay? So you're causing your kidneys to work really hard to get rid of this extra water. Another cool benefit is mental clarity. You're going to grow new brain cells when you do this. And another big benefit is your inflammation is going to come down. And what's also cool about this is you're going to go to sleep and you're going to get more hours of dry fasting as well. This second part involves getting rid of toxins, poisons, chemicals. And this happens in the liver, it happens in the kidney, it happens in different parts of the body as well. You have these enzymes that go through this series of steps that take the poisons and then They break them down to the point where they're harmless. And so this program is kind of like what's called OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. What are you going to eat that one meal of the day? And by the way, you'll eat that when the sun sets. You're just going to eat two things, some type of cruciferous vegetable, and you're going to eat meat. Well, what is a cruciferous vegetable? Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, arugula. Now, you can do broccoli sprouts, and that's going to be like 20 to 50 times stronger than adult broccoli. And you can have that in a salad. That would be considered a great thing. You can do kale or even blend kale, and you drink that as a shake. Then you get something called bok choy. And then the other thing that I consume a lot is cabbage, different forms. Raw sauerkraut is really awesome because it's fermented. So then we get to the meat part. Now, meat is loaded with certain amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. Some of these amino acids work in different ways. Like, for example, glutamine helps build up your glutathione, which is the most powerful antioxidant in the cells to help you get rid of free radicals and things that create rusting in the body. Meat also has iron, as well as the B vitamins, which also help you detox. And then if we add on top of that this dry fasting, you have a sure winner to help clean out not just your liver and your kidneys, but the entire body. And you're going to do this 3 days a month. Now, one last point. How do we prevent the detox reaction that a lot of people get when they cleanse? Well, with this cleanse, we're not necessarily using herbal remedies to push toxins out of the cells. However, anytime you do any type of cleansing, anything, the key is making sure that you do not have any bile sludge or any type of blockage within the little bile ducts. And those are little tubes between your liver and your gallbladder. Some people might have gallstones, but a lot of people have like gall sludge. And what happens is start a cleanse and it backs up to the liver and they get really sick. So it wouldn't hurt before you do this to take some bile salts, okay, in a supplement. You can also do another type of bile salt that I've recommended in other videos called TUDCA, okay, and I'll put that down below if you want more information on that. You can also use food to help thin the bile. One of the best things to thin the bile would be to consume beets. And one last thing is apple cider vinegar with water. I've known of people who started to cleanse and they get this rock right stuck in their stomach and they become really severely constipated. And it happened after they started a cleanse. And the quick remedy that I always give them is some bile salts and on an empty stomach. And that starts opening up this sludge and they get relief within hours. So don't forget that. Now, since we're talking about the liver and phase 1, phase 2 detoxification,